Howdy, I'll be going over my biofuel presentation. I chose ethanol. What is ethanol? Ethanol is an alcohol product commonly found in disinfectants, solvents, alcoholic beverages, fuel, and many other areas. It has the chemical formula of CH3, CH2, OH. It is made from many sources of biomass. However, it is primarily made from corn and corn products, with 98% of U.S. ethanol being from corn and 40% of total corn production going towards it. However, it can be made from pretty much any other biofuel. It can be made from sugarcane, uh, rice, wheat, some grasses. In Brazil, sugarcane is actually the largest source of ethanol, making up 82% of the supply. Corn is the next largest, making up about 18%. There's a multi-step process to create this. However, it's relatively simple chemically, and especially compared to the other kinds of biofuel. The grains or whatever biofuel you're using is milled, mixed with water to create a mash, which is then cooked to extract the sugars. Um, After yeast is added, to ferments the sugars from photosynthesis in the mash into alcohol, which is then distilled, dehydrated, and mixed with a denaturant, which is usually gasoline, and shipped off. Ethanol is widely used today, and it does have a much longer history than many may realize. It was first used as a fuel in 1826 when Samuel Morse developed an engine and it ran on an ethanol and turpentine mixture. Model T could actually run on ethanol or gasoline or a combination of the two. And there were several other engines that were used in between the two. However, the Model T is the by far the most famous. And actually, it was used until about World War II. Production spiked in the World Wars, and then when they came back and they didn't need as much fuel, it just kind of dropped off. And because gas was so cheap for so long, and we didn't know about the environmental impacts of gasoline, especially leaded gasoline, which didn't use as much. Then with the Solar Energy Research Development Demonstration Act of 1974, there was further research into alternative energies, especially fuel. And then as lead began to be phased out and was made illegal, ethanol began to replace it as an octane booster to help engines run better. It has many benefits versus gasoline environmentally. Just burns a lot less carbon dioxide, a lot less other harmful chemicals, and just even the lifetime, since it is a biofuel and it's grown, and it can be it absorbs carbon dioxide from the air as it's being grown. Uh, it has just a much lower carbon footprint than oil, and it actually has a potential to be a lot more efficient as we improve our production processes. And it has a very large impact on the economy, as there's over almost 75,000 jobs associated with the industry. And because oil is not going to go away pretty much anytime soon, even if we just use it for other chemicals and like plastics and stuff like that, uh, the biofuel industry is not going to take away jobs from oil. There has been some communication with ethanol to the public. There have been several laws passed to help educate people. However, it's the most common, so it's not as gone into, uh, especially since biofuels themselves usually don't take as much attention as other alternative energy resources. Currently, the situation is very positive. It has by far the most use, has good potential to ramp up use, and there are a lot of people who are focusing on ethanol production and research. Plan of action would probably just be to just research more into the process to make it more efficient so that it can be more economic to use and thus less unpopular when it gets rolled out, especially crop production, so that we don't have to put strain on food supply. Pros and cons: just less harmful chemicals and widely used. However, it is less efficient than gasoline, so that may cause problems. And we currently don't have enough biomass to convert into ethanol, so that's why I recommend just researching ways to grow more.